All right, what's up, everyone? Today we're going to go over 13 digital marketing trends in over 2017. We're going to cover each trend. We're going to go over them like fairly quickly. It's not going to be a really long in detail, but I really just want to go over some things that you need to keep in mind as you're growing your business online and just different things that are changing and kind of what some of the top companies are doing to keep consumers engaged, to keep growing consumers, to keep growing their sales, and really take a long term look at digital marketing and how to take your business to the next level and keep up with trends. So the list is really in no particular order. It's just really 13 important things. It really depends on your business. So you really need to understand who your customer is, how they're engaging with content, what they do on a daily basis online, how you can reach them at the right time, at the right moment, and keep them a customer for life. So let's go over 13 digital marketing trends. So number one, and this has been a trend for several years now, is programmatic. We're going to continue to see this expand as we go, and it's really always going to be something that's changing and being enhanced because it helps marketers and it helps businesses who are selling advertising. So really, you want a set of outputs based on a set of inputs. So let's say, let's give a good example here. Um, let's say that I want when someone views a specific product to send them an ad that with that exact product. So what you do is you have it all set up. So someone views product A, they don't buy it, they go on another website, I send them product A on a display advertisement. Now let's say another example would be someone does buy product A, now I'm sending them product B, which is an enhancement of product A. So someone buys, a camera, now we're selling them the tripod that goes with that camera. And just, different ways. And that's basically what programmatic is you want to be so smart in your marketing that every single person is getting a unique experience based on all the products you offer, all the services you offer. And you don't want, someone buys a camera, you don't ever want to send them another camera ad because they just got a brand new camera. So now you want to send them camera accessories that go with that camera. The way it works is you go with historical data. You look at consumer actions. So it's all about always analyzing your data, and that's going to be a common point throughout this entire presentation, and building experiences based on what your customer does. So programmatic, that's kind of a good example of it. The other example I can give you of programmatic on a different scale is on Facebook. So now website conversion campaigns are huge, mobile app campaigns, and they're all programmatic. So you send out your ad, and let's say you have two ads that you're testing against each other. You send out two ads to a set of targeted people on Facebook. Let's say that the targeted people is 150,000. You're sending out two ads. Facebook's constantly refining your ads and who they're sending it out to based upon what's working, what's driving results. So that helps the advertiser because the advertiser really doesn't have time to sit there and say, okay, well, females 25 to 30 who have these interests, who are located in this area, tend to perform the best. Instead of the advertiser doing that over and over, they can set up different targeting with different ads, and Facebook does all those little, those little relevant targeting data. Facebook keeps track of it, and they're going to continue to send your ads out to people that makes the most sense. And it's the same thing with whether it's your display advertising that's going out, it's Facebook advertising. So programmatic is it's really just another word for analyzing data and targeting consumers based on the data that you've analyzed. So a set of outputs based on a set of inputs. So you get data coming in, and going out you get more relevant advertisement that you're sending out to people, and to constantly refine and improve everything. So that's programmatic. The biggest tip I can give you is start using Google Analytics. If you're not using it, start using whatever analytics program you do use. Make sure you understand it, and make sure you have conversion tracking set up through every single ad channel that you're using, and make sure that it's set up to constantly improve your campaigns based on what you're doing. All right, so the first one's going to be programmatic. So now number two is going to be big data and customer profiles. So again, track everything, and this one is a little bit different. It's more about tracking everything and understanding your ideal customer. So at the end of the day, you want to say, okay, our average customer is between a specific age group. They're more likely to be this gender. They're more likely to be located in this area, and they're more likely to have interests in X, Y, and Z. And what you want to do is be able to, and that's a good starting point to help you understand who you need to target. If you're buying TV ads, if you're buying video ads online, you can, without having conversion data, you can say, okay, these are the people that are the most likely to, experience our products and services, and these are the people that we want to continue to target because they're most likely to help us grow our business. Now, how you come up with this is, again, it's all about going back to let's say you sell things online, you have a huge e-commerce store. If you go into your Google Analytics data, you can see who your most valuable, demographic targets are, geographic targets, interest targets, and you can use that data to keep improving everything that you're doing. And if you're not using that data and you're just sending out mass messages to everybody, let's say male, female, age groups 25 and up, interested in everything, you're going to keep targeting people that have no interest in what you're doing rather than targeting people who are more likely to have an interest. So maybe you send out 10 ad impressions and let's say 3 people see it and act upon it. Now that's a pretty high number, but let's say you send out 10 ad impressions and 0 people respond to it. Then you send out 10 more ad impressions and 0 people respond to it. I mean, as opposed to kind of this building number of people that have interest in what you actually have to offer. So that's similar to programmatic. Now it's about you understanding who your customer is. And the programmatic, from step one will actually help this because let's say you're using Facebook and Google AdWords and Bing ads and Twitter ads and you have them all set up, with conversion tracking to constantly optimize for conversions. You can see, really what customer they continue to send to to your website and the customer that continues to convert most optimally. And you can use that data to basically guide all of your marketing decisions. So that's number 2, big data and customer profiles. Again, it doesn't have to be too complicated, just kind of have to use it within your business. Number 3 is going to be mobile first environment. So I feel like mobile friendly has been kind of a topic of discussion every single year, ever since it's really expanded. And now I think we've definitely move towards a mobile first environment. When people get home from work, they're more likely to pull out their cell phone or their tablet than they are a computer. People are sitting on their couch watching TV, they have their phone in front of them. Doesn't mean people aren't using computers. It doesn't mean, people don't still buy things and book vacations on computers, but a lot of the research process is done on a mobile phone. If you're at work, for example, and let's say you have 20 minutes in between meetings, and let's say you're booking a trip to the beach, you might just go on your phone real quick and pull up a TripAdvisor app or Booking.com app, and you use that to research. Then you might get home and go on your desktop computer. So the most important thing is a mobile first environment is to understand that people might first go to their mobile phone before they ever go to a desktop computer to start doing research. And if you're not involved in that, mobile research process, they might never ever find you. So you can't just be set for desktop. If you have a desktop website right now that's not responsive or doesn't have, a good mobile user experience, then people just aren't going to use it because there's so many options out there. I mean, the last time I booked a vacation, I probably used 5 or 6 different apps. I was probably on 10 to 20 different websites, and the whole goal is, and you see our cross-device user experience, the whole goal is to find a user experience that works great for everybody everywhere. And down here, you'll see mobile experiences and apps. So if you're offering something where an app makes sense, it's so important to have that now because people just simply aren't going to use your whatever you're offering, whether it's a mobile website, a desktop website. They're not going to use that if they can use an app that's faster, quicker, offers the same pricing, everything like that. So a mobile first environment is so important. You need a mobile friendly website. You need to make sure that in search engine rankings that you're, with mobile, that you're still optimal so that you're ranking above other competitors, and people see you on mobile and they go home later and they might use their desktop computer to kind of finish booking something or kind of finish whatever they started. So mobile first environment is so important. You need to be mobile friendly now, and if you're not, then your business might go under, in the next several years if you're focused online. Now, obviously, if you don't have an online business, it's not quite as important, but for anybody with an online business, it's so important now. Number 4 is video, audio, written, and visual content. So basically with this one, everyone's experiencing content differently. There might be people that prefer to read. There's people that prefer to watch video. There's people that listen to podcasts. There's people that listen to radio. There's people that love infographics. And what you need to be able to do is offer all types of content that you're able to that makes sense within your business. So let's say I write a long form blog once per week about marketing. Now, what I'm able to do is turn that blog into a podcast episode. So I do, let's say blog article one. Now I have podcast episode one that coincides with that blog article. And to repurpose it one more time, let's say I create an infographic. So that's visual content. So now I have an infographic on my page that goes along with my blog article, along with a podcast. And let's say there's a way for me to kind of show it on video as well. Let's say I create a whiteboard type video. Now, instead of just having a piece of written content, you have a piece of written content, a podcast for people who might have never read your blog, but now have found you in the iTunes store because they have interest in marketing. You have an infographic that someone might have found on Pinterest, someone might have seen it on LinkedIn, it might have been shared on Twitter, might have been shared on Facebook. So now you have a piece of visual content that might bring someone to that blog. And last but not least, you have a piece of video content. So let's say it works great for social as well, because let's say on Monday you post this long form marketing content. Now on Tuesday you could post your infographic that goes back to the blog article. On Wednesday you can offer your podcast, and maybe on Friday you offer the video to it. So all week you can focus on a topic and create different types of content that basically show and portray it differently to people who want to experience content differently. Because if you're listening to this right now, you might say, you know what, I love video content. I love content on YouTube, but I don't like reading blogs as much. So now you're listening to this right now, and I'm going to upload it to my blog later. There's going to be people on the blog that don't really care for the video and rather just scroll through the blog article. So it's really about appealing to as many people as possible and repurposing your content. So video, audio, written, and visual content, incorporate as many as you can within your business. Number 5, conversion rate optimization. So basically this is all about optimizing the experience that you're giving to your guests. And again, it goes back to data tracking, A/B testing. If you're using landing pages, try a couple different landing pages. Keep the same exact environment of whatever you're doing. Let's say you're running an AdWords ad for a set of 20 keywords. Use 2 different landing pages and continue to optimize based on what is working, in your back end. You need to always be looking at your data and seeing what's optimal, what needs improvement. You might find that you're running 3 ads against each other and ad 1 is outperforming ad 2 and 3, so you just go with ad 1. Now you use ad 1 and you compare 2 landing pages with each other, and you find that landing page 2 works better, so now you have ad 1, landing page 2. And that's basically all conversion rate optimization is. It's about testing, analyzing the data, and going with what works. And it's a constant cycle that you keep doing to keep improving, everything that happens within the marketing, funnel here, where you say, okay, this person on Facebook is more likely to convert if they click on ad 1 with targeting 1 with landing page 1. And you need to find what the most optimal experience is with everybody and keep optimizing that experience until you find, your ideal conversion rate, and then you improve on it again. So conversion rate optimization is a lot easier for large businesses, and unfortunately they don't take advantage of it enough. It's really some of your smaller business that take advantage of it better, but when you have $1 million budget, it's very easy to test because you can say, okay, we're going to take $2,000 and test it between these 2 ads. And by the time you're done spending $2,000, it's easy to see which ad is better. When you don't have a huge budget, it's not as easy. So you need to kind of pick and choose what you test. You might want to test landing pages because that's something that you can adjust for different ad channels. And if you can find landing pages that work best, it's kind of a really good starting point rather than just looking at specific targeting or ads. So conversion rate optimization, optimize the entire experience, test, and track everything. Social media engagement. So I kind of thought this 2 years ago. Social media is kind of moving really away from the whole sales model and more towards the engagement model. When you put out a Facebook post, you can put out posts all day that drive clicks to your website and they might not convert. Ultimately, what you're looking for is to grow your engagement, to make sure that people are engaged on all social networks, that you're growing that engagement, because the number of people that like you can constantly go up, but if engagement's down, you kind of have an issue there. There's an underlying issue of you adding people, but them not engaging with your content. Now, if you're adding people and your engagement goes up, that's the perfect scenario. But I'd rather stay steady and see an increasing engagement than see engagement go down and see increasing people like the page or follow me on whatever social network. Because social to me is about building long-term relationships. When someone decides to follow you, you want to keep them forever. You don't want to make a sale that day. You want to make a sale for the next 10 years, once per year, or whatever works for your business. So with that comes, the third point here is customer service. Someone goes on to Twitter and says, to Delta Airlines, hey, you screwed up my flight. They're going to try to solve it right away because they know they don't want to lose that customer. Whether they give you, a free flight voucher or a free meal voucher on a flight or something along those lines. Um, Social media has become just so important for engaging your customers with your content and using, fixing their problems that they have right away. Whether it's a problem, Uber, you see it all the time. People always go on and talk about a bad ride. Customer service is so vital when it comes to social media because you fix someone's issue quickly and effectively, then they're going to become a customer for life because you build trust with them. So social media to me is about building trust. It's about building long-term relationships, and it's not about making the quick sale anymore. It's not about posting on Facebook once per day to try to get a sale. It's about posting on Facebook to really enhance the overall experience your customer has with your business. So number 7 is search engine domination. So I included search engine optimization and pay-per-click in this, and ultimately it's about winning your target keywords, dominating ad and search positions, and maximizing targeted traffic to your website. So let's say you're an injury lawyer in Baltimore. If someone types in injury lawyer Baltimore, you want a paid ad to show up there. I know it's going to be expensive, but that person, one person could turn into thousands of dollars for you. And if you don't get them, your competitor's getting them. And you're going to spend some money, wasted on people, but you need that ad placement. Now, if you have that ad placement plus, an organic search result position of 1, you're going to be set. I mean, you're going to be set for injury lawyer Baltimore, Baltimore injury lawyer, all sorts of long tail keywords you can continue to optimize for. And you might find it, if you have a good enough ad position or good enough organic position in the search results, you could probably pause ads for a little bit depending on how many contacts you're getting on a daily basis and how many cases you can take. And that's really the goal you want to get to. So rather than sitting, on the third, fourth page of search results and, not trying to do paid advertising, try to get your website on that first page in that first position and try to get your paid ads, be aggressive with them because search engines are the only place where you can really go where people are actively searching for something. I'm not searching for a Baltimore injury lawyer because I don't need an injury lawyer in Baltimore. But if I did and I searched that, I'm going to go with whatever comes up in the search results. And I might contact a couple of different people and, get quotes or, get an idea of what their services are. And you want to be there. If you're not there, I'm not contacting you. It's a real-time thing. You need to be there. If you're not there, you're losing clients, you're losing money. So search engine domination is so important. It could be number 1 on this list easily. It's one of the things that I'm very passionate about is dominating your keywords, both with search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising, whether it's AdWords, Bing, whatever it is that you're trying to dominate. Number 8 is smart email marketing. So this one I'm going to go through pretty quick. So email marketing, you always want to offer value. It can't be a constant sale, 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 sale because they get stale. Over and over doing sale, sale, sale is stale. It's stale for your consumers. You want to be consistent with what you're doing, but you also always want to offer value. So maybe you offer a sale once per month. Maybe you offer a sale once per quarter. But you want to be showing, hey, here's the content that we're giving off that's going to help you right now. So a good example of this, let's say you're Amazon. If you notice that someone is buying a lot of stuff for a home office, maybe you send out an article to them about, the top 10 things you need in your home office. And that's going to be very helpful for that person. And you're also, the second point here, outputs based on inputs. That's a good example of that. You put someone in a category of home office and they get this article, 10 things you need in your home office that you didn't think of. Now that's helpful for somebody and they're not going to see it as, oh, well, they're just trying to sell to me. It's like, oh, they're trying to help me. So think about it as I'm not trying to sell to this person, I'm trying to help this person. Now, the other thing with email marketing, outputs based on inputs is if I go, and let's use Amazon again as the example, I go to Amazon, I add something to my cart, I forget about it, I go to work or something that day, they should send me an email. And I think they usually do. They should send me an email, say, are you ready to check out? And maybe I am, maybe I'm not. If I am ready, I check out right there. If I'm not, I probably keep shopping because if I added something to my cart, most likely I saw myself as needing that product. And if they don't remind me, I might go back a week later and say, oh, yeah, you know what? I really didn't need that. But if they tell me in 3 or 4 hours, hey, you added this to your cart. Do you want to continue checking out? Or do you want to add these products that are also related to that one? So smart email marketing, it's really about offering a personalized experience to people based on what they're doing on your website. Um, and it's not just a one size fits all solution. Really, nothing is anymore online. So that's what's kind of made it so difficult for marketers. But smart email marketing, offer people value, be helpful. Don't just sell, just be helpful. Live video. I'm going to give a quick example of live video. So I listened to a podcast, and what this person does is they set up, they must have multiple devices, or there must be a way to do it because I've never done it. They have live streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at the same time, and at the same time, it's recording a podcast. So what they're able to do is have this live streaming video where, let's say, 50,000 people are tuned in across the different channels. They do a live video for about 40 minutes every single day, and then they produce a podcast afterwards. Let's just say 10,000 people listen to the podcast. So now what they do is they take one thing, and this goes back to, different types of content, and basically producing it on different channels is another way of doing that, the audio, visual, written content. Doing it on different channels in a seamless and easy way. So let's say I use Twitter. I'm a big Twitter user. They post their live video on Twitter, and I'm on Twitter and I watch the live video. Then I don't need to watch the podcast that day. Let's say someone else uses Facebook, they see the live video, they get interested. And what's great about it is you not only, at the end of it, you can post your video to Facebook, you can post your video to Twitter, you can post your video to YouTube, and then you can upload the podcast to iTunes. So now your live video has not only turned into 3 different videos that are living on these social media channels, it was also live broadcast on these social media channels for free to you. It's completely free for you to do live video, and it's being recorded. So at the end of everything, you can upload it as a podcast. Now, if you're selling advertising, you have 3 different videos, 3 different channels, along with a podcast. You can sell all your advertising through each channel easily, and it costs you nothing, and you're reaching the maximum amount of people you're really going to be able to reach. So live video, the biggest thing is, doesn't make sense for your business. For most businesses, it's pretty good. If you have any type of news items, it's good. Again, live video has to do with offering value. So if you're offering value, people are going to tune in. I mean, it's that simple. So live video, definitely something you should consider. All right, now virtual and augmented reality are a little bit different, more complicated. Augmented reality, of course, is what you saw with Pokemon Go and what you still see. Virtual reality is with a headset. So basically, this one is very complicated, but it's all about virtual experiences, and you're able to immerse customers within your products and services. If you're able to do it in a way where a customer can put on a headset and it enhances the products and services that you're selling to them, then you need to look into it and you need to see if it makes sense for your business. I'm not saying go invest $1 billion in augmented reality because it's the future, but it is good to understand that more people are putting on virtual reality headsets, more people are aware with augmented reality, the different options they have. So you need to understand if it makes sense for your business and whether or not you can use it to enhance your products and services. So messaging and phone calls. Phone calls have been a big thing last several years. Through AdWords and Bing ads, you can track all your phone calls. You can track phone calls to your website. You can, look at basically every piece of data for phone calls to drive more phone calls to your business because they tend to be more valuable than just like an email contact. If you get someone's voice right then and there, it's a lot easier. Now, messaging is becoming more popular. So I know AdWords released messaging extensions where you can, let's say I look up, vacations in Miami. I can send a message to, let's just say it's visitmiami.com. I don't even know what the website is. I could send a message to them saying, what's your availability, from July 1st to 7th. I'm looking for this room, and they can get right back to me with, maybe a unique link that they send me, or maybe just a unique experience they can give me. And if they didn't have that option, then I'm probably going to another website. I'm probably going through someone else. And the whole goal with messaging and phone calls is to be prompt, to kind of have a plan in place for when people do contact you, to understand that someone might be want to talk on the phone right then. Someone might be looking for research material. So it's about understanding and having a plan in place to, answer everybody and do those types of things. So messaging and phone calls, basically you want to be available through all forms of communication that make sense to your business, whether it's, a contact form, whether it's a phone call and a voicemail, or, a message that you answer, and you want to be prompt, because if you don't answer for a couple days, people forget. So influencers and natural native advertising. So it's funny. I was watching Space Jam the other day, and there's a joke where they go to Michael Jordan. They say, put on your Hanes and put on your Nike sneakers, and on the way to the game, we'll also get a Big Mac. And all I could think of was this. This is all paid for. The whole thing, the whole native. It was basically everything Michael Jordan was endorsed for. There was a couple more in there, but basically, especially for larger brands, native advertising is so important, because seeing someone in, a techie movie using a Mac rather than a PC makes people kind of look at Mac as, oh, this is for people who are techies. If you've ever watched the show Mr. Robot, and I don't think they use Apple, but if you ever watch the show Mr. Robot, if everyone in that show were to use MacBooks, you'd kind of see it as, oh, well, and they might not want to be associated with all the hacking, but you might see it as, oh, well, people who are the most technical want to use Apple products, so that's what I want to use. And you see that a lot, the native advertising, natural type looking advertising, where someone pays for. I just watched the movie The Accountant, and I swear if Ford pickup trucks didn't pay for the way that they showed the Ford pickup truck in that movie, the one that Ben Affleck drove, I'd be really surprised, because you constantly saw him going off road, and you see the truck looked like a commercial basically the whole movie every time they showed it. And because I'm in marketing, I kind of picked up on it, and I saw, I keep seeing this Ford pickup truck being shown driven off road, going fast speeds around bends. And I mean, from my standpoint, I saw it as, oh, this must be a nice truck. So that's you're going to see that keep growing, because people are becoming, more privy to what advertising is and seeing it. So seeing it kind of in real life, in action, but not put down your throat, and sort of speak, it's easier to say, okay, well, I actually do like that product. I'm going to look more into that product. Now, along the same lines, influencers. So it's big on YouTube, big on Instagram. It's big. Snapchat. So let's say you sell makeup. This is the easy example. Let's say you sell makeup. There's so many makeup videos nowadays and so many people that are doing them, that it's easy to find someone on YouTube who gets a couple thousand views a day, and have them use your makeup and create a makeup video. Maybe that video gets 300,000 views, and you pay a couple $1,000s for it, which is a great, great deal for you, because to get 300,000 views on YouTube costs way more than that. So maybe you spend $2,000 and you give your makeup to a makeup artist and just say, I just want you to use this on your face, talk about the makeup, talk about why you like it, talk about why you'd recommend it. And you pay them a fixed amount. They put that YouTube video up. And the thing is, the reason why people are willing to do that for you is because they can still put ads on their video. And maybe you tell them you don't want them to do that, which is going to cost you more money. But in my opinion, just let them do it. And it'll save you a little bit of money. And you're getting, let's say there's 300,000 views on that video. That's so many people that are exposed to your makeup that wouldn't have otherwise been. And it costs you so much less than doing. And it's a targeted advertisement, because no, I'm not looking at makeup videos because I'm not doing makeup. But someone who is looking for makeup, is looking for makeup tutorials. So you want to connect with these top influencers and find rates that work for you. And maybe you do, maybe you do a couple videos, maybe you do it across different channels. And it's all about advertising your products and services in a way that feels natural. All right, number 13. This is actually our final one. Again, this list isn't in order. We went through mobile so much that I really wanted to touch on mobile app development. So you want to create and improve your mobile app if it makes any sense at all for your business. And it's because the cross-device experience is only going to grow in importance, and people are constantly looking for the easiest way to do everything. So if you have a mobile app that makes things easier, you need to Make sure you improve it to the best of your ability. Make sure it's fast. Make sure it's useful. And the other thing you want to do is promote your app. Pay to promote your app and get more people using your products, your services, and becoming aware of what you have to offer. Mobile apps are if people are able to find something with a mobile app and do it easier, then they're going to. Whether it's weather, social media, anything, travel. I know travel is a big thing with mobile apps. Finding news. So if it makes any sense at all for your business, you should look into creating a mobile app, improving it, and promoting it as well. So this is actually the final slide here today, and the biggest thing I want to go over is to keep in mind what your customer is doing. And we kind of started the whole presentation with tracking everything about your customer, tracking what customers convert, what makes customers convert, and different things of that nature. And you really want to hone in on that and understand all of that, because the more you can understand your customer, the easier it is to build experiences for them, to optimize the experiences if you already built for them. So if you're not doing a lot of these things, I'd recommend incorporating them right away. If you're kind of sitting there like, well, I don't have any customers, where do I get started? It's hard. You really need to start with traffic to your website or sales. You need to start building, and that kind of goes through social media engagement. It kind of goes through search engine domination. That's kind of where you'd start with those things. Maybe you incorporate live video. Maybe you incorporate different types of content. So it's about building useful things online for your customers and constantly improving them and optimizing them and being there when, moments matter most. When someone types in pay-per-click advertising agency, if Surfside PPC isn't there, then people, aren't going to have any interest. People aren't going to see it. And kind of it goes with anything, whether it's, you're selling mufflers for cars or golf clubs. I mean, you want to understand your customer, to understand what they're looking for, know what's popular, keep up with the trends, and constantly optimize and test and test and test until you find the perfect situations. And marketing isn't really something anymore where you can do it with just one person unless you're running kind of a small niche business. But as you kind of grow and expand your business, you're going to need more people to that dig deep in your email program all day, people that look at analytics all day, people that manage your paid advertising all day, that manage your content on your website. It's You really need all these different people and departments working together to create, this perfect kind of symmetry of content, of products, of services, of experiences that keeps customers coming back to you. What are you doing today that's going to keep customers coming back to you tomorrow? If you can't answer that question, you probably have an issue. So make sure you can answer that question. Look at all these different trends, different things that are going to be coming up. See what makes sense for your business, where you can invest your dollars, and keep up with the trends. Keep up with what big businesses are doing, even if it's on a small scale. So thanks for joining us today. Hopefully you learned something. 13 different trends. I'm sure I missed out on a couple. I'm sure there's some where people might be saying, how is he not talking about this? But these are the 13 big things that came to my mind as I did this article and as I did this video. So if you have any suggestions, just please leave them in the comments. I don't have any problem with that. So thanks for listening today. Hopefully you learned something, and join us again soon.